There are 5 luxury SUVs sitting on used car lots right now that are quietly being snapped up by the people who actually know vehicles for a living. Not the salespeople, not the finance managers, the mechanics, the fleet managers, the guys who have pulled engines apart with their bare hands and know exactly what lasts and what does not. None of these 5 are the ones you would expect. Forget the Range Rovers. Forget the BMW X5s. Forget anything German with a turbo, a DSG, and a repair bill that will make you cry in your driveway at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. I am talking about luxury SUVs that can genuinely reach 500,000 miles. Not in theory, not some rumor about a guy who knew a guy. These are vehicles I have personally seen pass that threshold, or watched approach it with nothing but scheduled maintenance. After years of turning wrenches and watching people throw money into vehicles that did not deserve it, I have built what I call the 500,000-mile club. These are the 5 luxury SUVs that earn membership. And right now, before the market wakes up and prices correct, you can still buy into this club at a discount that borders on embarrassing. Number 5 is the one that surprises everyone. Number 1 will make you question every luxury SUV you have ever looked at. Let us get into it. Number 5, Lexus RX 350, 3rd generation, 2010 to 2015. 2 years ago, a retired teacher came into my shop driving a 2012 Lexus RX 350 with 214,000 miles on it. She had bought it new. She wanted to know if it was worth keeping. Her story makes a point about reliability. I put it on the lift, ran diagnostics, checked every fluid, inspected the suspension, looked at the brake lines, and pulled codes. You know what I found? Worn rear pads and a cracked passenger side CV boot. That was it on a 214,000-mile luxury SUV. I told her to keep it until the wheels fell off. She laughed and said her neighbor had been trying to talk her into a new Lincoln. I told her the Lincoln would be in here every 6 months and the Lexus would be in here once a year for oil changes. Here is what makes the 3rd generation RX 350 tick. Under the hood is the 2GR FE 3.5-liter V6, a naturally aspirated engine that Toyota has put in everything from the Camry V6 to the Highlander to the Sienna. This engine family is not exotic. It is not exciting. It is engineered to be unkillable. Timing chain, not a belt. No turbocharger to fail. Hydraulic valve adjustment so you are not on a schedule to shim valves manually. The engine just runs and runs and runs. The 6-speed automatic transmission paired to it is equally proven. I have seen RX 350s with original transmissions at 280,000 miles that shifted as cleanly as the day they left the factory. Now here is where it gets interesting financially. A 2013 Lexus RX 350 all-wheel drive with 80,000 miles right now, you are looking at $18,000 to $22,000. A 2013 BMW X5 with 80,000 miles, $18,000 to $24,000, and it is going to need a water pump, a valve cover gasket, and potentially a timing chain tensioner before you hit 120,000 miles. I have done all 3 jobs. The BMW costs $2,800. The Lexus, realistically, $400 in spark plugs and a fresh set of wiper blades. Inspection checklist. Check the navigation screen responsiveness. Older units on 2010 to 2012 models can develop touch lag. Not expensive to fix, but use it to negotiate. Look for oil consumption. Some early 2GR FE engines had piston ring issues in very high mileage examples. Check the oil level cold before you start it. If it is a quart low and nobody told you, ask questions. Test the air suspension if it is the active suspension model. Leveling system failures are rare but real. Listen for the compressor cycling more than once on startup. Inspect the panoramic roof seal. These age and can allow water intrusion. A damp headliner is a $600 to $900 fix. Look for staining. If you want Lexus reliability at Toyota prices, this is the formula. Nothing fancy, just bulletproof. Number 4. Cadillac Escalade, 4th generation, from 2015 to 2020. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking American. You're thinking complicated. You're thinking every Escalade I've ever seen was on 26-inch wheels with a cracked dashboard. Give me 60 seconds to change your mind. The 4th generation Escalade runs the 6.2-liter L86 V8. This is the same engine family that powers the Corvette. It is a naturally aspirated pushrod V8 that has been refined by General Motors engineers for over a decade. And when properly maintained, this engine is a legitimate 400,000-mile unit. Here's the catch, and I'm going to tell you up front because this is what the used car market does not tell you. The active fuel management system, the cylinder deactivation that switches between 4 and 8 cylinders, is the Achilles heel. AFM lifters have a known failure rate on high-mileage examples, and a lifter replacement is a $3,000 to $4,500 job depending on the shop. But here is what most buyers do not know. For about $600, you can have a Range Technology AFM disabler module installed. It disables the cylinder deactivation permanently and keeps the engine running on all 8 cylinders all the time. I've done this to 3 customer vehicles. After that, this engine is genuinely indestructible. Now look at this price picture. A 2016 Escalade ESV Platinum, loaded, full-size luxury, 3 rows, 22-inch wheels, massaging seats with 80,000 miles, is sitting on lots right now for $35,000 to $42,000. That same vehicle stickered at $92,000 new. You are buying a car for 40 cents on the dollar that, with the AFM fix, will run another 200,000 miles. Nothing else in the luxury SUV space depreciates this aggressively. Compare it directly to the Range Rover Sport from the same year. Same price range on the used market, but the Range Rover Sport uses a supercharged V8 or a turbocharged V6, and by 100,000 miles, you are looking at transfer case service, air suspension compressor failures, and if you are unlucky, a supercharger snout seal job. I've done all of those. The Range Rover repair total at that mileage runs $3,500 to $6,000. The Escalade may be a set of tires and transmission fluid. Inspection checklist. First, pull codes before you buy it. Any AFM-related codes like P0521 or cylinder misfires, walk away or get a significant discount and factor in the repair. Second, check the magnetic ride control suspension. Bounce each corner firmly. If it takes more than one full bounce to settle, a damper is going out. Expect about $800 per corner at a good independent shop. Third, listen to the exhaust at idle. A ticking noise from the top of the engine is almost always a collapsed lifter. Get a mechanic inspection before you commit. Fourth, check every screen and every electrical function. Escalades are loaded with tech, and infotainment system failures on high-mileage units are common. Factor $1,200 for a head unit replacement if needed. Bottom line, fix the AFM, maintain the oil, and the 6.2-liter Escalade earns its seat at the 500,000-mile table. American, proud, and underpriced. Number 3. Infiniti QX80 from 2014 to 2020. This is the one nobody talks about. Not automotive journalists, not YouTube reviewers, not the guys at the dealership. And that silence is worth thousands of dollars to you. I had a commercial contractor come in last year. He runs a business, drives hard, and hauls equipment. He had burned through 2 Chevrolet Suburbans and a GMC Yukon XL in 10 years and was tired of unexpected bills. A buddy told him to look at the QX80. He came to me with a 2015 QX80 with 118,000 miles and asked me straight up if this was worth buying. I drove it, I inspected it, I checked the VIN for service history. Then I told him this is probably the best kept secret in the full-size luxury SUV segment. He bought it for $22,000. He called me 8 months later, 148,000 miles, 0 problems. Not a rattle, not a code, not a single warning light. Here is why. The QX80 runs the VK56VD 5.6-liter V8. This engine powers the Nissan Titan, the Nissan Armada, and the Nissan Patrol, which in international markets is famous for being the vehicle UN aid workers drive through conflict zones for 400,000 miles without rebuilding. This engine is oversized for the work it does, which means it runs under stress almost never. It is a naturally aspirated iron block V8 that was built for desert heat, mountain altitude, and neglect. The 7-speed automatic paired to this engine is equally proven. Nissan transmission calibration on the QX80 is conservative by design. These transmissions do not hunt for gears and they do not slip. I have inspected QX80 transmissions at 200,000 miles that looked like they had 60,000 on them. Pricing: a 2016 QX80 with 80,000 miles right now is sitting between $24,000 and $31,000. The equivalent Range Rover, a 2016 Range Rover Sport with similar miles, is $32,000 to $42,000. You are getting a bigger, more reliable, cheaper to maintain vehicle for $10,000 less. The only thing the Range Rover offers that the QX80 does not is street credibility. And street credibility does not come with a warranty. Inspection checklist. First, check all 4 power running boards. They cycle up and down on a motor and can seize from dirt and weather. A replacement is $350 per side. If they are slow or stuck, negotiate. Second, listen for a knock at startup in cold weather. The VK56VD can develop a slight cam phaser rattle when cold that disappears at operating temperature. This is minor in most cases, but get a second opinion before buying. Third, inspect the rear differential fluid. If the previous owner never serviced it, it will look black and gritty. That is a $200 service, but it also tells you how they maintained everything else. Fourth, test the air-conditioned seats and every climate zone. Multi-zone climate systems on high-mileage QX80s occasionally have actuator failures. Repairing them is not catastrophic, but it is $300 to $600 per zone. If you want to buy a subscription to this segment, if the idea of a Lexus LX or a Land Cruiser appeals to you, but the $50,000 price tag does not, the QX80 is where you get 85% of that vehicle for half the money. Number 2. Acura MDX, 3rd generation, 2014 to 2020. This one makes mechanics angry, not because it is a bad vehicle, because it is an exceptional vehicle that the market has decided to price like a used Chrysler. Here is the reality. The Acura MDX uses Honda J, 35Y, 3.5-liter V6 engine. It has been used in virtually every Honda and Acura product for over 25 years. It is Honda's most proven, most refined, most well-understood engine. I have watched these engines pass 350,000 miles without internal work. Not on paper, in my shop, in my parking lot, in my customers' driveways. This engine does not fail on its own. It only fails when people neglect it. I'll give you the sub-second version. The MDX is a BMW X5 for people who actually want their car to start in the morning. Last spring, a guy in his early 50s came in and asked me to compare two vehicles he was deciding between. Option 1, a 2016 BMW X5 35i with 72,000 miles, priced at $27,500. Option 2, a 2016 Acura MDX SHAWD with 68,000 miles, priced at $21,800. He thought the BMW was the sensible choice. Luxury brand, loaded spec, looked great. I broke down the 5-year ownership math for him. BMW water pump and thermostat, $1,100. Valve cover gaskets, $700. Timing chain service if needed, $2,200. Transfer case service, $400. Conservatively, he was looking at $2,500 to $4,500 in maintenance-adjacent repairs in the next 60,000 miles just to keep the BMW reliable. The Acura timing belt. Actually, no. It is a timing chain that requires no service interval. Transmission fluid change at 90,000 miles, $180. Spark plugs at 105,000 miles, and keep going. He bought the MDX. 6 months later, he sent me a message saying he felt like he got away with something. The SHAWD system on the MDX is the one technology detail that separates it from every other luxury SUV at this price. Super handling all-wheel drive actively torques the outside rear wheel in corners, giving this 3-row SUV handling dynamics that have no business existing in this class. It is not a marketing claim. It is measurable. In wet and winter conditions, this system is genuinely confidence-inspiring in ways that passive all-wheel drive systems are not. Inspection checklist. First, if you are looking at a 2017 to 2019 model with the 9-speed automatic, test drive it extensively. The ZF 9-speed had early calibration issues on some units, so look for hesitation or hunting between gears in stop and go traffic. Many have been software updated and are fine, but verify. Second, check the VTC actuator. On early third-generation MDX models, a rattling noise at cold startup for the first 2 to 3 seconds can indicate a variable timing control actuator beginning to wear. It is a $350 part and a few hours of labor. Minor, but worth negotiating on. Third, inspect all 3 rows for wear. A low-mileage MDX with a destroyed 3rd row means kids, dogs, and a disinterested owner. It tells you everything about deferred maintenance. Fourth, check for any frame rust if you are buying in the Rust Belt. The MDX does not have structural rust issues by design, but heat shield and subframe surface rust can indicate a car that spent winters in salt without being rinsed. Average market price for a 2017 MDX SHAWD tech package with 75,000 miles is $22,000 to $26,000. BMW X5 comparison, $26,000 to $34,000. You are buying Honda reliability in a premium interior for $8,000 less. Every penny of that gap is pure market inefficiency. If the segment figures it out before you buy, this discount disappears. Get in now. Number 1. Lexus GX 460, 2014 to 2019. If you subscribe to this channel for one reason, let it be this one. The Lexus GX 460 is the most underpriced, over-engineered, misunderstood luxury SUV ever built. The people who know what it is are buying every clean example they can find right now, before anyone else figures it out. Let me tell you about the customer who made me write this down. 3 years ago, a couple in their mid-40s came in after totaling their Range Rover Sport. They had $35,000 to spend and wanted something comparable. I walked them through the options, and then I told them the truth. If your goal is a real luxury, body-on-frame SUV that you can drive to 500,000 miles without ever touching the engine, there is one answer, and it costs $28,000 right now. Not $35,000, $28,000. They were skeptical. The GX 460 is not flashy. It does not have the Range Rover silhouette. It does not start conversations at valet. I told them that was precisely why it was available at this price. The market does not want it. Mechanics do. They bought a 2016 GX 460 Luxury with 64,000 miles for $27,500. They came back last month for an oil change, 118,000 miles. The only money they have spent beyond maintenance was a set of tires and a rear wiper blade. Here is what you need to know about why this vehicle is in a different class entirely. The GX 460 runs the 1GRFE 4.6-liter V8. This exact engine, the same unit, powers the Toyota Land Cruiser 200 series, the vehicle that United Nations operators run through war zones, the vehicle that Australian Outback Expedition companies use for 600,000-mile life cycles before they consider retiring it. The 1GRFE is naturally aspirated, iron block, timing chain driven, and overbuilt by a factor that makes every German Vive 8 look like a science experiment. The GX 460 is body on frame, not unibody, not a crossover wearing a truck costume. A real ladder frame, truck-based SUV that absorbs 300,000 miles of abuse the way a unibody never can. Toyota uses the same platform for the GX 460 and the Forerunner, the J150 platform, which means parts interchangeability, a massive independent knowledge base, and a parts ecosystem that will exist for another 30 years. Here are the numbers that should make you angry. A 2016 Lexus GX 460 with 80,000 miles, $28,000 to $34,000. A 2016 Range Rover Sport with 80,000 miles, $33,000 to $44,000. A 2016 Land Rover LR4 with 80,000 miles, $24,000 to $30,000. And the LR4 will need a cooling system, an air suspension rebuild, and a transfer case service somewhere around 100,000 miles. I know. I have done the jobs. I have billed the invoices. I have watched the faces. The GX 460 at 100,000 miles needs spark plugs, a differential fluid change, and fresh brake fluid. That is the whole list. $800 maximum at an independent shop. Done. The KDSS system, Kinetic Dynamic Suspension System, on the GX 460 is the one item that requires attention. This hydraulic front and rear stabilizer bar system makes the GX remarkably composed on road for a body-on-frame vehicle. KDSS lines can develop seeps over time, especially on examples that have not been serviced. A KDSS line replacement runs $600 to $1,200, depending on what needs addressing. Not catastrophic, but get a mechanic to look at the system before you buy. Inspection checklist. First, check for the KDSS fluid seeps I just mentioned. Look at both front control arm areas and the rear stabilizer links for any oily residue. Second, test the crawl control system and multi-terrain select on an unpaved surface if you can. These systems should engage and disengage cleanly. If they throw a warning light during testing, walk away. Third, check the rear differential lock function. This is one of the few SUVs in this class with a genuine locking rear differential. It should engage with a solid click and a dashboard confirmation light. If it hesitates, it may need an actuator, about $400. Fourth, inspect the leather carefully. GX 460 owners tend to be serious users, and if the interior is pristine, that's a signal about how the whole vehicle was treated. A trashed interior on low mileage tells you someone drove it hard and cared less. Who should buy this? Anyone who wants Lexus reliability but needs a vehicle that can actually go somewhere. Anyone who wants the Land Cruiser experience at 40% less cost. Anyone who has ever had a Range Rover and is done apologizing to their mechanic. Anyone smart enough to stop caring what the badge says and start caring about what happens at mile 300,000. Who should skip it? If you live in a city and need tight parking, the GX 460 is not your friend. It is 188 inches long, and it feels every inch of it in a parking garage. If fuel economy is your priority, the 1GRFE engine returns roughly 16 to 19 miles per gallon combined. It is a V8 truck-based SUV. It drinks accordingly. And if you need the newest infotainment tech, the 2014 to 2019 GX interior is behind current standards. Functional, built to last, but not cutting edge. Here is my final word on this vehicle. The Lexus GX 460 is the closest thing the used luxury SUV market has to free money right now. It is priced below its actual worth, mechanically bulletproof, and completely off the radar of the average buyer because it looks conservative and does not carry a European badge. In 5 years, when the market figures it out, these will cost $10,000 more than they do today. You can buy one now or pay for someone else's regret later. So there it is. 5 luxury SUVs that belong in the 500,000-mile club. The Lexus RX 350, Honda money, Lexus reliability, Toyota engine. The Cadillac Escalade, fix the active fuel management system, ignore the stigma, enjoy the V8. The Infiniti QX80, the full-size nobody mentions, built on the same DNA as the most durable trucks on Earth. The Acura MDX, Honda engineering in a premium suit, priced like the market forgot what reliability costs. And the Lexus GX 460, the best-kept secret in the entire used luxury market. A Land Cruiser wearing a different name, sitting on the lot for less than you would spend on a German crossover that will break your heart at 90,000 miles. The market has not caught up to these vehicles yet. When it does, this script is going to age very expensively for everyone who waited. If you want to know which luxury SUVs have the worst repair records hiding behind a good reputation, the ones that look like deals but are not, I have that video right here. It will save you from making a very costly mistake. I will see you in the next one.